Alright, good morning. It's Saturday. Nice sunny day outside.
You should get the sunlight coming in here. Oh yeah.
Perfect. So today we're working on the fuel system. Right now I'm kind of beginning off by trying to figure out... That sun is really bright.
Oh man.
I'm gonna turn this off. Yep. Alright. So we're gonna figure out... I'm trying to figure out how to fit these AN lines onto this fuel hat. So what I have here is a -6 feed line and -8 return. I just went a little large on the return just to not have any problems, but this is the feed line that we have, and I gotta fit this, some better light here, on top of the fuel hat. So this has to go through the top. There's not much room underneath. That's what I got to work with. I'd rather go through this than drilling through the gas tank, the plastic tank, and this is just more of a uniform setup. So I'm going to try to figure out, I think this will go about right here, or inside. This is just a random pressure sensor that fits on the top here, which we don't need that. It's for evap stuff, so I took that out. I got a hole here, but yeah, I'll probably try to use this feed line going into that hole, and then this -10 will probably just go next to it, like so. Because I would like this feed line to dump, you know, a hose back into the same cavity that the pump is in, so then when there's any fuel sloshing around, it's just returning back into the same cavity. That's kind of my dilemma. Try to find a solution. There is enough room. You just gotta plan everything out carefully. But yeah, we'll get started on that. So this is the fuel pump assembly. Really quick here, got my 6 feed line, -6 feed coming down. Just need a hose to connect that. So this assembly slides up off the pump. This is pretty snug because this OEM pump is much smaller than my aftermarket one. So then this guy snaps off the filter. And then down here we have the filter. And I'll pull this up. This filter that came with the pump barely fits in my stock assembly, so you can see it's tight fit. And here's for reference the different size of pump compared to stock, much heavier too. So then this plate sits in the bottom, and this is just free. I did heat this up and melt it into its spot, so this isn't gonna move. But yeah, that's pretty much my solution for now for fitting such a massive pump and filter assembly inside of this stock housing here. Sorry if this looks like a potato, but my GoPro's on a time lapse right now. And that just goes down like that. Perfect. And my GoPro time lapse just screwed up. So that's our progress. I know gas is like $6 a gallon, but I got the tank outside dumping the fuel out. Probably still about 8 gallons still in here. Delicious. Oh yeah. It smells horrible. Oh yeah. Alright, so I got the fuel pump in. Sean's over now. Say hi, Sean. And he helped me get the wiring done on the fuel pump. I'm doing the plumbing now.
And this is the fuel pump in there right now. It's snug in its home. So we had to cut out the frame of the bed a little bit. Just notched it out. And I have my lines squished on just for the beginning. And then they come out here in the front of the tank. And then my fuel filter will probably go about here on the frame rail. I think that's the easiest to access it. And then that's just this 6 AN line. We'll come to that. And then continue on from there. Up the side of the frame. And I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but the fuel rail is way up there. But alright, after spending some time doing the fuel system, I kind of took my time on this and kind of tried to think things out the best I could, but I got a light this time, so I don't have to run and get a light, and we're going to check out what we got. You can see here we got the tank back in. I don't know if you can see in the top here. Oh. But we did get the fuel pump in. The AN lines are all ran from the fuel pump, kind of in a stock location. Ran along the frame rail with my inline fuel filter. Just a generic thing, nothing fancy. So it runs all along the frame, up the firewall, and then to the fuel rail and the regulator. So my idea, I just welded some 1/4-20 bolts to the frame. So I just took, don't mind my band-aid, it kind of looks ugly. But I welded some 1/4-20 bolts right to the frame, so it kind of acts like studs and makes things a lot easier as far as bolting hardware to it. And then it's also, I can disassemble this pretty quick, so I think it's a good idea. It's simple, you know, it's nothing overkill. Kind of matches the build of the truck, you know, it's not some... This isn't some show truck, but I try to do things right the best I can, so it's kind of hard to show because there's not really much to this fuel system other than there's a fat ass pump in the tank, and you know, I got some bigger AN lines ran along the frame. So what I did do under here is I ran a -6 feed line, and then I ran a -8 for the return. I think that'll work out pretty good. I've always known to run a larger return line just so there's no restriction or any unnecessary back pressure that might spike your fuel pressure. I think that's the reasoning behind running a larger return line, because the pressure regulator is supposed to regulate the constant pressure. So anyways, that's in there. These are all tight, so under the truck the fuel system is complete, other than this rattle that might come on. It might be a little annoying down the road, so I might put like a little rubber pad under here, or actually get a proper mount. I got the intercooler mounted up here. That's kind of what I'm working on today. And what we have here is a Speed Factory intercooler. Ordered it right off the website. It's a 3-inch back door intercooler. So that means the intercooler inlet and exit faces backwards. So I'll just show you. But it heads out the back here. Let me get a light here. It fits pretty good. I just kind of measured in between the headlights, the largest intercooler I could fit, and then just kind of gambled with what I ordered. So it fits pretty good. The inlet and exit works pretty good as far as lining up for the intercooler piping. No real modification there other than a little bit of cutting away of the webbing of the core support, but that's nothing, that's minor stuff. You know, it's nothing structural, it's just webbing. My light got in the way there. Anyways, so that's that. I'll work on that today. The bottom side of this intercooler is mounted up to a piece of flat bar that I welded to the bottom of the core support underneath, and it's already bolted into place loosely, but I need top mounts. So I'll weld some aluminum brackets off this to the top, to the core support, and that will finish things off, and it'll keep this more supported. Because this is pretty heavy. It's about 26 pounds. But man, it looks good. Alright, so when I drag this truck to the fabricator guy, this is just my perspective on what I'm bringing to him, just to show, I guess, the process of this build. Exhaust manifold and intercooler piping is a little bit beyond my talent and scope of work, so I'll let him do that. He's good at that, and I think it'll benefit me in the long run if he did his thing. So anyways, without further ado, here's a turbo. Obviously he needs that, but he does not need the wastegate to build me a manifold. So I just told him to put a 40mm flange on there on the exhaust manifold, which will come around here in this area, and then I will purchase one later on, but for now he doesn't need one. So anyways, I have the VS Racing 50mm blow-off valve. Just ordered this off Summit, generic budget friendly thing. Matching V-band aluminum to weld on to the intercooler piping, and that's up to his discretion. I don't really care where it goes, not very picky. This is a 4-bolt stainless flange that'll bolt to the back exhaust housing. So that'll go there, and so this is so he can build me a downpipe. Just a quick, you know, downpipe back to the firewall, and then 90-degree down, or whatever angle down to near the bell housing, and from there I can continue my own exhaust. And then I have just the springs that go with it, with the wastegate. I mean, he doesn't really need that. V-band, he does probably need that. But that's pretty much what I'm bringing to him. That's the scope of work that he's gonna do. So he does a damn good job of it, so I'll let him do that. And I think that will benefit me in the long run, having a nice quality exhaust manifold on there that will allow me to grow as far as power levels go. And so that's where I'm leaving off this video. This is where I'll kind of end the video here, I think. It's a good stopping point, since the truck will be gone for probably a week, solid week at least. And I'm just gonna button up the thing, get the shit out of the bed, and get the lug nuts tight on the wheels, and then drag her down, and the fabricator guy will do his thing on the exhaust manifold and the intercooler piping. So more to come. Next video will be pretty exciting when we have more stuff mocked up in the engine bay here, and possibly start wiring this thing up. That's another tall task to challenge there, but I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.